Hello, everybody. This is the Minority Programmers, and a lot of you have heard of our Black Lives Matter Hackathon or are participating in it. So, I wanted to provide some resources in order to help your discovery for coming up with a solution, whether it's similar apps or it's on your own. I just wanted to provide resources that would allow for you to think kind of deeper in assessing the problem and develop a solution based on affected communities' needs. So, in this dev post page where you actually sign up and submit, submissions are from July 6th to 27th, and the actual judging is the whole week after that. Um, you can actually submit here, and you're going to need a demo video. It should be around 5 minutes long and show your working application, but we highly recommend that you make a longer video and actually pitch the product as if it were a startup competition. And we're going to have resources for that on the Discord channel that you can see is going to be there should be an action. You're gonna see there's gonna be an action if you log in. Right now, I'm not logged in. So we have different topics here, whether it's police accountability, criminal justice, police militarization, racial inequality, mass incarceration, just to give you an idea of kind of the scope of the problem, and then kind of potential solutions for a problem. Just quick brainstorming, and instead of updating this list, we're actually on the hashtag ideas channel on the Discord app, which is also a web app and a desktop application and also a mobile application. So make sure to get that. That's where most of our communication will be. So we already have existing solutions and tools of examples that already are in the mainstream or that are underutilized. And we're going to show you some today. But before you go around and actually start looking at different projects, I think it's more important to get a better assessment of the actual issues. And this website called Racial Equity Tools gives exactly that. It goes from anything from just addressing the current system that leads to this oppression, and then opportunities for empowerment. And so one thing that I really like from here is the sentencing project. Let me get to that later. The sentencing project is great for criminal justice specific help. So it goes over sentencing policies, incarceration, felony disenfranchisement, and drug policy. Also, if you're on the vibe of drug policy, there's SSDP, there's DPA, there's Normal, there's MPP, there's the ACLU. All these are great organizations for understanding civil rights, liberties, and the justice system in total. In terms of fighting for our rights on the technical aspect of justice, I think Fight for the Future and their projects is absolutely amazing. They're the ones who were advocating for net neutrality and facial recognition, and a lot of AI for facial recognition is under scrutiny because of its racial prejudice, and so I think that's something to take into account. Also, there's a No Earn It Act, which basically destroys online encryption. And in terms of protest movements in particular, I think the Earn It Act has the biggest threat in terms of kind of going after that fundamental part of encryption. So I think maybe not that emphasizes encryption or modernizes encryption or allows you to be aware of the encryption policies going on in legislation would be a dope endeavor to pursue. And there's also face recognition at campus and all these other things that can be used and that is used on marginalized communities, especially at a greater extent. So Fight for the Future, they're a great source. Then you have some apps that I want to share. So Safe Space is I believe Mondo Davidson is going to be a judge for this competition. He was the guy who made Safe Space, and what it is it's for pedestrians or other people in their cars that have been stopped by the police, and it notifies allies in your areas to record that event. So it's a police accountability app. And one thing I like about it, it's very underutilized, but it gives you these beautiful statistics on these incidents reported. I think only in the past year there's only been 17 incidents reported. So I recommend everyone to start using this and getting the app, and also modeling this beautiful interface for how exactly to put the police in check. And speaking of police accountability, sort of coming away from the data and statistics side, there is this called Raheem. And Raheem takes this but adds a personal story to it. So as you see, it says that Trevor was an activist wrongly accused by the police in Oakland, and it very emphasizes the story. And as you see here, at the top will change, and it'll give another account. But you can choose that I was helped, protected, profiled, or neglected, and that's what I really like about this. It doesn't necessarily say the police did something bad. You could say they helped you, and it gives you a report. And then there's already 2,000 incidents reported. I believe the maker of this was from Oakland. I think someone on Reddit mentioned that. And yeah, you can categorize it by the place. Again, like Oakland's has a big diverse community out there, but it's known for its history of police brutality. So and especially other places in California as well. So these are why these are listed up here. So I think this is very important to understand and read the stories of people to understand your target audience and the police, and how exactly the police are acting and developing applications that add accountability. There's another thing that adds accountability, but from a blockchain perspective, and blockchain being one of the biggest hard skills. We just had a webinar on that. I think using blockchain, because it is a ledger that's linked through cryptographic hashing, to make a police brutality database that basically makes it hard to hide this data of police brutality. That's another thing, and this is just another article on that. So please look into that topic. And going off the same topic, there is one to just record police conduct by yourself, and that's by the ACLU. So like that's this. I really like this video. It kind of emphasizes big instances of police brutality. I think now this application is actually a government agency website, and it just visualizes minority-owned businesses, and this kind of gets you wondering and thinking in terms of real-world research. Why does per se a state like Alabama have low minority-owned businesses? I don't know. It's a mystery, but that's another data visualization that might inspire you. There's also this program called Last Mile, and what they do is absolutely beautiful. They basically started in San Quentin, notorious prison. They ended up being in 11 institutions, including Pelican Bay, and they turn inmates into full stack developers in 16 months by having teachers, industry professionals, and actually former inmates who graduated from that program video conference in. And so I think that's beautiful. They actually base it off a lockdown browser of Canvas, one of the most popular learning management systems, where they can't use the internet. So that's kind of a struggle. How exactly do we teach people how to develop applications and be full stack developers without Stack Overflow, without these internet resources? And I think they do a very good job of not only providing that infrastructure, but like actually having an application that facilitates this learning. And so that's something you should check about, and something you should try to have in your own local prison if you're into that, or if you want to even teach inmates how to code. This is something that you can contact them with and actually do directly, instead of coding app, directly teach people who are affected. So I highly recommend checking out Last Mile. What else is there? There is also this I'm not sure if it still exists, but it came from the Occupy Wall Street movement, and it basically is, you have a bunch of numbers that you put in of people that you care about, your lawyer, your mom, and you give them a message when you get arrested. And yeah, so something of that nature in terms of actually helping with the protest movement, I think would be a great idea as well. And it's very simple. Like, this to make is very simple. So I recommend doing something in terms of simplicity like this, but not exactly the same idea. And we got the Oh Crap app. That's just like a rights education app. And some more inspiration that you can get in terms of understanding protest and surveillance is the Electronic Frontier Foundation has this SSD surveillance self-defense guide, and they give all types of information about full disk encryption, using Signal and other encrypted apps, burner phones, like wearing nondescript clothing and covering identifying features, and that kind of goes on the street level surveillance guide, and basically tools to aid the police from becoming exceedingly militarized and actually swerving their technology. So the Electronic Frontier Foundation is a pretty cool organization. I think it has some low key affiliations with the Grateful Dead, so that's cool. And there are a bunch of electrical engineers, cybersecurity analysts, and just a bunch of cool dudes that look out for privacy and basically fight for our internet rights. So that's dope. And then the Rights Restoration Project is another example of a kind of getting information to combat injustices. So you find out where you can get your record expunged based on a particular state. I know the guys who make that, so that it's dope what they're doing. And then there's like We Buy Black, again, like the minority-owned businesses, just a shop where it's sourced by well, I hope it's black-owned businesses and not just black things, but this is purple, so yeah, I'm assuming that's what it means. And there's also this justice mapping to get an understanding of how certain socioeconomic neighborhoods actually lead to more high unemployment and lead to people in prison. So that's another data visualization if you guys are into mapping. That's something you guys can base off of or just use for your research. So that's pretty much all I really wanted to say. Again, the prize money is going up. I think it's at 800 now. And so, you know, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any other resources. And just contact the Discord channel anytime you need help or any ideas, and I'll continue to share resources throughout.